Hello! Welcome to Red Hawk Spotlight. I am Alejandro Juano, and I'm here joined by star athlete, Mr. Matt Carmichael.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. So, you recently broke the school record of a 5,000 meter record by 12 seconds in the New York City Invitational. You finished fourth with a time of 16 minutes and 55 seconds. Take us through that race. Did you know that you were running at a record pace?
Well, going into that, the Armory is probably just one of my favorite places to run. It's where they hold almost like every big time collegiate meet. They hold like the Nationals meet there, pros run there. So it's a really cool atmosphere going in. So like walking in, there's like a big Jumbotron in the middle. So, that atmosphere, I just felt good going in. And honestly, I had no idea. I mean, I felt good on pace. I was a little bit going through here in like my splits for like each 200 meters. I felt good, so, and then with like 1 mile left, I just figured just make a push for it, and I didn't know if I was going to get it or not. I knew I was going to be close, but 12 seconds under, I really wasn't expecting that, so it was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah. So when or how did you know you broke the school record?
As soon as I crossed the line, I looked back at the clock. I saw like 16:04 by the time I looked back, and I was like, wait, I'm pretty sure that was it, because like, I always saw it on my mind. I just forgot like what like the actual record was. But looking back, then I looked over at my teammates and they were all standing on the sidelines. They had, like the biggest smile on their face. I was like, I definitely think I got it. Right? So
was it like a big emotional moment for you?
It was big. I had that one on my mind. Like I always coming into the season, I set like a goal for myself. So I was always looking at the 5K record, and it was like coming down like the last couple meets. I was like really nervous. I was like, I kind of want to get it, and So I talked to my coach. I said, look, really put me in this race, man. I really want to get it. But it was really emotional because, like, that's something that's going to be there, I think, for a while. Yeah. But it was good. Like, my teammates were so happy for me, and I couldn't have done it without any of them. So,
dude, congratulations. That's
Thank
awesome. you. So you broke the school record set by Liam Riley in 2015. Have you heard from Liam at all?
He hasn't reached out to me, but, I was a freshman when he was a senior, and, he was big in helping me get to where I was, and big helping me out like through the ropes coming in as a freshman. It's a big change from running in high school to running in college.
So you have had like plenty of interactions with Liam.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Setting this mark on your senior year, what does that mean to you?
It means a lot. It just shows the progression that I've had from coming in as a freshman. Not sure how I was going to do, what I wanted to do, and then finishing out as a senior. It means a lot. It just shows the growth that I've had coming from high school, being like an average runner, and now just showing that, like, you don't have to be the star runner in high school to, compete at the next level. So it just shows all the dedication and hard work that I've put throughout the years.
So let's go back. So how did you start in track?
I really started running my sophomore year of high school. I used to play like 3 sports. I used to play soccer, baseball, and basketball as a freshman, and then I really wasn't that good, to be honest. And then my cross-country coach approached me. He's like, hey, man, why don't you run? And I was like, I don't know. I just gave it a shot. I ended up being pretty good. And then I knew, like, if I wanted to set a goal, I had to commit to all 3, so cross-country, winter track, and spring track. So I just went all in on that, and had a decent high school career. I wish I would have started earlier, but that's one of the regrets that I didn't find it sooner, because maybe I would have been better like a year earlier. But it all worked out. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So what made you decide to come to Montclair State?
Well, first of all, I wanted to be close to home. I live in Matawan, New Jersey. So being there for my family, going back to my hometown, that's something that's always a part of me. So I wanted to be somewhere in Jersey to where I could always go back if needed to. I live on campus, so I don't go back all the time. And second of all, it's just to get the opportunity to do my major and run. So I'm an athletic training major, and to be able to do that and to run is something that was the 2 biggest things that I was looking for, and this school had it and provided that for me. So that's why I chose Montclair.
So Ian Carter became the head coach for the indoor track and field team this season. What's his coaching style like?
First of all, he's been nothing but great. He's been a great friend. He's honestly a very good coach, very caring. He really tries to just bring the best out of everybody. It's been hard. Any transition from a coach to a coach is new, and it's a learning process for both the athlete and the coach. But he's been there for us for everything, and he's been getting us to compete. So I really think he's a good fit.
You're both actually from the same hometown, Matt.
We are, yes.
Yeah. Is that something that ever gets brought up from your other coaches?
Actually, I was the first one that brought it up, and he was like really surprised. I did this thing that like only our high school coach would know, and he was really shocked when I heard that. And then I don't know, I feel like we've always had like a special connection, being from the same hometown. We grew up. He did track too. He threw, so we both had the same coaches going through high school. So we kind of like cut from the same cloth with the same kind of mentality. So we have like a special connection, and I feel like that's helped me a lot.
So what's the best advice you've ever received from a coach?
It's probably just be at the right place at the right time and do the right thing. I just feel like that's like kind of checks all the boxes. It puts a lot of pressure on what you have to do internally versus like you have to do more than just show up to practice, show up to races or games or whatever sport you do. You have to go the extra mile to achieve anything, literally and figuratively.
I noticed. I thought it was a pun, so I was like, wait a minute. Do you have any advice for anyone looking to get into track and field?
Takes a lot of dedication. You have to do a lot of work on your own, just like any other sport. It's a big transition because it's like not like a conventional sport. It's a little different than what most people would think of, but it's really rewarding. It just makes you feel like so good after you go out and compete because even if you don't come in first place in your race, like you look back on the clock, if you ran a PR, like you still feel good. Like it's not really a whole like win and lose situation. You're running against everybody, but at the same time, you're running against yourself and your personal bests.
Can you walk us through how your practices are executed and how the team prepares for like an upcoming meet?
Well, practices, we always start up. We always meet either at the track or at Panzer, depending on like what we're doing for the day. We usually just like warm up, stretch, try to like mentally focus in on what we're doing. Me and all of like my guys on the team, we'll all just talk about what we're doing today with coach, and then we'll go through like what he wants us to hit, paces, like what are we doing, how many reps and all that, and then then it's just really all on us to get it done. We try to just work off of each other. We'll try to work off each other as in like we'll let one do one rep, like one run lead on the other. So like we'll try to just work off of each other to get through the workout, hit the best times that we can, and coach puts a lot of pressure on like the athletes to get it done themselves, and for us to like be the example for the younger athletes on the team.
So is there like a solid team chemistry within the track and field teams?
I believe so. For throughout 3-4 years being here, I've tried, and me and the other seniors on the team, we've tried to set the example of what to be and try to expect that for the young guys. So like when we eventually graduate, that culture is still there even though we're gone.
Track is a sport that doesn't get a lot of exposure. But the Olympics, they're coming back around soon. So in Tokyo, and of course, track will once again be front and center. Are there any Olympians or events that you're looking forward to the most?
Well, obviously, I always watch the events that I do because I take like race strategies and stuff and like see how they prepare because I always do like the documentaries and stuff. But I always look forward to watching the distance events. The 5K, the 3,000 meter steeple is always a fun one to watch just because it's such a different event, and I do that. So I look at their form. I try to analyze same way as how a football player analyzes anything or how they look over game film. So I always like watching my events. Really, I just like love the Olympics because of how track gets all the recognition. It's like it really is like the main sport, and I feel like everybody tunes into it. So I always watch it come.
Track and field are a whole bunch of different events. How does your team stay bonded even though you all do different events?
Well, it's hard sometimes just because, again, since everybody does every event, each event is almost like a position group in sports. So, everyone will mostly work within their position. So, like us distance guys, maybe a little bit closer with each other than they are with other positions group. But, we go to a meets or practices when they're in the same spot. We all just get along, we talk, and coach does a good thing of just keeping everybody together, everyone on the same page, everybody with the same mindset.
What was the furthest you've ever run?
Furthest I've ever ran, I think it was either like 16 or 17 miles over the summer when I was like doing like my off-season training.
So you do off-season training as well?
Yes.
So what's that kind of like for you?
Well, really the off-season training is probably the most important part of running in my opinion, just because you have to set a good foundation if you want to be able to improve through the season. So really basically when I finished like my outdoor season last year in like May, I really only took like 2 weeks off maybe before I started say, all right, let's look towards like the fall season, and then let's look forward to winter. So it just starts off easy, and then you just want to like gradually build up into you just look at like a weekly mileage, and then you just try to build that up as far as you can.
So can you explain what runner's high is?
You're just in a run, and all of a sudden like you just look down at your watch and you just see like your pace is just going like really fast, or you're just like feeling really good out of nowhere, and you don't have any pain in your body or anything, and it's just like just a rush of adrenaline out of nowhere, and you feel like you could just go on forever. It's like one of the best feelings in the world.
What are your plans after graduation?
I'm an athletic training student, which is a very cool aspect. I get to see both sides of sports. Here I am competing, then at the same time, through my classes and clinical, I get to see the injury and rehabilitation side of sports, and being able to be hands-on with that is very cool. After I graduate, I'm gonna look to hopefully get a job, applying to like graduate schools to try to continue to further my education, and I'm gonna try to work as an athletic trainer at a university, hopefully.
Well, thanks for being here, Matt.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed this.
Fantastic. And that is all we have for Red Hawk Spotlight.